position was posted from an escape room business owner.
Okay.
Encouraging other business owners, if they are thinking about opening an escape room, to not. Because...
Tell me more, did he go bankrupt?
He's working on going bankrupt right now. Actually, I believe I didn't get to memorize the entire story. I can find it real quick on my subreddit and kind of go over it with you guys. But basically, how it goes over it is that they talk about the creative process and how fun the creative process of making an escape room is, building an escape room, writing, all that good jazz. But then after that, it just becomes repairs. Over time from dust buildup or not being taken care of, or because customers are breaking your equipment, and it ends up costing you more money than you make depending on where you are located, because location is another big thing. So as a business owner, and I'm going to pull up more of the conversation so I can give you more bullet points other than just what I can memorize, but should people not jump into the escape? Is it too late, rather, to join the escape room craze? Good, I have the subreddit open right here. Perfect. How do you feel, Tom?
That's like saying, is it too late to become a doctor? Is it too late to become a cop? Is it too late to become a firefighter? Is it too late to go work at ShopRite?
So what you're saying is there's always going to be a need for an escape room?
I'm saying it's just another form of immersive entertainment. It's not going anywhere. There's money to be made, but there's also money to be spent. So yes, you're dealing with a business cycle of everyone remembers you for what's new, not what's old. So you constantly have to refresh. That is a big uphill climb to, every year or 2 years have a completely brand new piece of content for everyone to play.
Viva Todd Vegas chiming in with you can be very creative with your marketing and promotions. The creativity doesn't have to end with each room. In response to what I had said before about that stuff. Now I have the subreddit open in front of me. He even touches on about how some escape rooms, if they don't make it big, they barely make ends meet, and it also talks about how your staff is a bunch of game masters who are barely paid over minimum wage, so half the time hiring a team who even gives a damn is a difficult thing to do. What are your thoughts on that aspect of it?
Alright, so here's where I'm going to have to come at this, which probably won't make the Reddit writer thrilled. Here's a big difference with escape rooms as an industry and a lot of other industries. And we saw this, I watched the same thing start even with the axe throwing businesses and stuff like that kind of came following.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we ended up with a lot of young 20-somethings that went to an escape room and thought, I can do this. Mommy, can I have some money to open one? And had no idea how to run a business. That's why they're not making money. It's still a business. If you don't know how to market, if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to manage a business or manage people, you're not going to make it. It's that simple. We're still in an infancy. We're not a real business yet. It takes like a decade to get out of that cycle of scare tactics of whether or not you're going to make it in an industry. We're going on 5 years in now.
I believe 5 years as Trapdoor anyway, yeah.
And for example, the home care agency we have is closer to a decade old. And over the last year or two, that business went bonkers through the roof. But there's security in our reputation at this point. It's been around for almost a decade. No one's been around for a decade in the escape room industry yet. And everybody keeps clenching on to what they heard about the industry 3 years ago, which was that for $10,000 you can get in and go make a couple $100,000. Those days are over. In New Jersey alone, when we opened, there was 3 of us. Now there's 50 of us. You can't expect that when people have so many other options to go to, that you're still going to bring everyone in. And people only do so many things for entertainment a month or a year, for that matter. Like we were just talking about with the movie theaters and whatnot versus streaming. The average household does not go out for entertainment purpose weekly. They don't go out monthly. So you can't expect people to every time come to you. They're going to try out other things. They're going to realize what does or doesn't work and what they like or don't like, and then hopefully come back to you if you left a lasting impression. We've been very lucky in the fact that we see the same faces at every single game we open, which is great.
Yeah, we have a very loyal customer base.
We do, but we also keep providing value. And that's ultimately going to be the biggest factor. Are you providing value to the marketplace that creates them to be brand ambassadors and tell people about you? Beyond that, do you know how to market your business? Do you even know who the hell your customer is? These are questions that, like, a lot of these people you ask at conventions, things like that, they can't answer 3/4 of the questions thrown at them, and then they get pissed at you for it. So, at the age of 20, you're probably not ready to own a business.
So, final thoughts then, before we move on to our last topic of the day. You think this Redditor was going a bit too far in dissuading people to not at least try the business? Or is it just a bitter post, you think?
I think it's a bitter post, but I think I don't necessarily disagree with him, though. I think that you need to start it for the right reasons. I think you need to do the homework and know what you're getting into. And even since we opened, what is required of us has changed drastically.
Absolutely.
In 2015, we were getting away with film production work, very light puzzle work, and barely set design work. Fast forward now, it's film production, creative writing, puzzles, set design, scenic painters, software engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering.
Lots of engineering.
It's a completely different ballpark, and those people aren't cheap.
No, definitely no. Those fall under our specialty categories as far as employments here go, that we have to pay them a bit more just for the work that they give to us.
As we've talked about live before too, because we've had conversations about the minimum wage battles and all that fun stuff.
Of course.
We do our tiering with our stuff where like everybody starts at X and then 90 days you get an eval, and then 6 months after that you get an eval, which by the way I have evals that need to get done because I'm about 2 weeks behind on a few of them.
Thanks, waiting on that raise, boss.
You weren't on that list.
I know I'm not on that list.
You can't even get a nameplate right.
Talking about? It's fine. It's right there. I don't know what you're on about.
We're just busting Mike's chops. We love Mike. But, it's... I don't think the Game Master argument's a little stupid.
Well, because like he says barely above minimum wage. The state minimum wage is $7.25, and there are plenty of escape rooms that they don't pay, well above it, but it's not barely above it either.
Well, here's the issue with the way a lot of escape rooms do their employee business. One, yes, going rate I've seen in a lot of places is $8 to $9 an hour as starting rate, but then they don't go anywhere from that. They stay there.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, and this is the bigger issue, they're on call.
That is another big thing that we see in a lot of escape rooms, especially one of the escape rooms that we share a town with. The difference is that, we have staff in the building at all times whenever we're open, whereas these people only have people in their building when they have a booking happening.
Right. You're not utilizing your team. You're not figuring out what they're good at in order to accentuate and assist the business. And sometimes that requires you uncovering what they don't know. For example, Mike is killing it on Escape Stream because we knew Mike had a great personality to go on air with. Mike never streamed shit before this. So
it's the truth.
Part of managing a business is understanding what your team is capable of and exploiting that.
Absolutely.
Not for your own benefit too.
Yeah. Just interesting word choice.
We're gonna exploit the hell out of you.
But you can't. no business ever excels by one person doing everything.
It's true.
That's something that everyone has to kind of learn along that path, because so many people are brought up under the wrong logic that just work hard and you'll get there. And at the end of the day, there's only so many 38-hour shifts I can work before I drop dead.
Yeah, the stress will get to you eventually. I think it's a philosophy that
Through the stress, I'll literally drop dead of physical exhaustion.
That's
Like, it's not even the stress part, but you know, like you look at performers that did everything themselves and where they wound up. And we've had conversations before about Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from all the accusations, from a business perspective, he was involved in every single facet of his songs, his music videos, his TV specials, everything.
Yeah, a single move did not get made without him in the know of it.
With not a single one. And how many, you know, elements, he was right behind the editing screens. He was right with the chroma key people. He was right with the costume department. And he's dead because he literally couldn't sleep. So
Yeah.
you have to understand that there's a point where you have to rely on people. And once people are put in a position where they can have some control and power to make their own decisions, usually your business will excel. But most escape rooms have enough employees just to handle their on-call procedures, so they're not utilizing anyone to grow. They're just growing by the owner, who also usually has his hands in something else, like, you know, a full-time job somewhere else, and this is like a part-time hobby.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why it's not kicking off to a multi-million-dollar business.
Because it's a hobby. It's a
So,
part-time hobby.
Rant over.
For any future business owners, I hope that this sticks with you and it's something you think about if you decide to open an escape room or really any business in the future. These are all very good points. And with that, we're going to go ahead and hop into our final segment.
And we hope you'll join us next time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't below. Like, comment, subscribe.